On June 12th, the U.S. Department of Treasury extended secondary sanctions against Russia. 5 Russian banks, Sberbank, Внешэкономбанк, Sberbank of Russia, VTB Bank and VTB Capital Holding, were placed under the restrictions. Their foreign representative offices, such as VTB Shanghai, were also under sanctions.
Russia has reoriented its economy and marshaled all parts of its government toward supporting its reprehensible war effort. Foreign financial institutions face sanctions risk for continuing to facilitate transactions involving Russia's military-industrial base. From the U.S. Treasury Department website, there is a waiver for 2 months. Sanctions are imposed from June 12th to August 12th. Now everyone is discussing that on August 13th, major Chinese banks may stop working with the Moscow exchange. It's not clear whether this will happen or not, we'll see. But the threat that yuan payments will be terminated is quite real. They are seriously talking about it now.
According to experts, if Russia's Moscow exchange does not find a major Chinese or regional bank that will be ready to conduct transactions in yuan, the central bank will not be able to carry out trade in China's currency. This means that the yuan will leave the country following the dollar and euro. Previously, at least 2 Russian brokers suspended operations with the Turkish lira as well. Russia was unable to withdraw the rupees earned for oil. In India, they were invested in shares, government securities and infrastructure projects.
As a result, direct payments from Russia to China in yuan, which had been experiencing problems before, have now almost ceased to be delivered to recipients. But banks are just half the problem. It is even worse that there is an issue with the only payment system for foreign trade transactions that worked quickly and almost without interruptions through payment agents in other jurisdictions. In spring, when payments to China began to hang up en masse, many importers gave up on banks and began to use the services of such agents. This significantly increased costs, but the money came in and the goods were delivered. The emergence of the dirty yuan spoiled everything. From the Moscow Times publication.
Difficulties with payments also lead to a decrease in imports of goods into Russia. Even according to official data from Federal State Statistics Service, since the beginning of spring, when the problems with Chinese currency started, there have been noticeable fluctuations. Thus, imports of goods in March 2024 compared to March 2023 fell by almost 20% and by 6.5% in April.
Imports are in a huge decline. This whole issue with the freezing of transactions, it works but of course they find ways around it through smaller banks, but it increases costs. It's much more expensive for the business.
According to the Moscow Times, citing its own anonymous sources, even transactions in rubles will not help solve the problem. After all, not all Chinese banks are ready to accept Russian currency. Conversion rates are often high, and Chinese suppliers want to receive a stable currency for their goods rather than the falling Russian ruble. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Larisa Petruk, UATV News.